Welcome to Recreational Knitting. My name is Karen, and today we are going to talk about all of my Stash Be Gone projects that I've picked out for this year. This make-along is running from now until December the 31st, and I welcome people from all areas of crafting to join along. If you are a knitter, obviously, you're all welcome. If you're a crocheter, obviously, you're all welcome. If you're a quilter, if you do stained glass, if you do beading, anybody is welcome to do the stash down. I'd like for you to look at the first two videos and to give you some strategies of how you can accomplish some of that this year. Yes, we're going to do this. Let me start you off by telling you that this is not part 3 of the Stash Down video. That's coming next week. But this is just to show you what I've decided to work on and get out of my stash, because there's way more behind me. One of the things that I suggested that you try to do is to group your yarn, your pattern, your needles all in one bag. Now, I'm real fancy and I do Ziplocs a lot. Just because bugs, I can see what it is at a glance and I know what I need at a glance. For example, this is just yarn. It's because I haven't selected a pattern yet that I really like. But you can also put them in bags for sewing, for knitting, for crocheting, whatever you want to do. This is your stash down, not mine. I'm just trying to give you some strategies. So that's what we're looking at. We're looking at my bagged items that I personally picked out of my over-the-top stash, and I'm committed to working on this year. Whether I get them all finished, I don't know. You know how life throws things at you. Knitting time is variable. Crafting time is variable, depending on the weather, the family, and just general life things. So let's dig in and find out what I've got that I picked out. First of all, this is something, and some of these have been cast on since I put them in bags, because that is the point, to start working them. So this one I cast on the other night. I was watching some TV. This is a Opal sock yarn. Looks like Florida, right? Yes. And it looks like I don't have the ball band for it, but oh, wait a minute. I'm better than I thought it was. It's an Opal. Anybody speaking German could have probably helped me with that. My 1 semester of college German did not cover anything to do with sock knitting. And nor can I remember how to get to the library. Isn't that what they always teach? Right. It's an Opal yarn, Unterbaumen. If you're from Germany or know German, go ahead and laugh. It's all right. And this is approximately what the sock will look like. This is a pair of socks that I just started. When I was cleaning out needles and that kind of thing, I came up with about, I exaggerate here, 16 pairs of sock needles, double pointed, because that's, when I learned to knit socks, that's how I used, now I use magic loop. But since I have all these needles, this is what we're going to do. This will get me more things on and off the needle. This is just a simple sock. It's going to be knit 1, purl 1, rib, all the way to the foot. And I got me some of those little stopper things this week. Thought they were pretty cool. So I probably should have 2 on them, 1 for each side. But we'll manage that in a bit. So that's my first cast on, and let's get rid of this stash. I find Opal to be a workhorse if you've never used it. It's great yarn. Yeah, I'm one that will go outside in my socks on the driveway. I don't take care of any of my socks. I do wash them correctly, but I mean, they're not precious. Unless they're made with something, excuse me, that is not particularly sock wool. So I'm keeping in my Harrisville design bag that I got when we were there, I think 2 years ago. Go back and find my Harrisville design tour of the store. Unfortunately, it was the week that they were cleaning the machines and we didn't get to see the mill. Yeah, luck. All right. Second is, this is Barocco DK, vintage DK in a dark charcoal. I don't think they name it except sometimes on websites. But this is, and I've cast this on. This will be my first cardigan. And that's how much I've gotten done so far. And the pattern is from Petite Knits. I like her patterns. I like the way that she writes them. And of course, oh wait, here we go. It's the Eva cardigan. Those of you that have followed me know that I started this last week, I think. So I've used approximately 1/3 of a ball for this. So yeah, I'm even starting to look at some buttons. And I'm thinking just plain gray black if I can find them, but if I can find something with a little flower on it, maybe, we'll see. You know it when you see it. So that's a second one, and that's the Eva cardigan, using up some Barocco DK weight. Oh boy, this is going to be a mess after I finish all of this. I've already got a double-pointed needle that's out of my sock bag. All right, my third whip, cast on, not sure what to call it because I have cast it on, is another cardigan. This is, oh boy, this is not this bright. It's Tuku wool Hunto light. I don't know if that's right. Junto light cardigan. And this is by Tina. Oh boy, I'm going to butcher this. It sounds Norwegian. Hutaniemi. I have no clue. But it looked like a very basic cardigan that would teach me how to do a cardigan. I am using Ulcentrum. It's from Sweden. We have a store here in the States that carries it. Fairlight Fibers, not associated with them, but that's where I purchased my yarn in the United States. It's a rustic wool. This is going to be the one that I use when we go down to the beach. Again, I got one of those little knit stoppers, and I'll show you, I'll try on my new cardigan. Making progress. I made my first buttonhole right here. So yeah, that's where I'm at there. So those are 3 that I've already cast on from my Let's Do This stash down. And again, I'll put it here. The hashtag is stash be gone. B is only the letter B. It doesn't have an E in it. Stash be gone 2024. I'll put it right here so you can know. And I've since been warned that Instagram is not friendly any longer to finding the hashtags for prizes. So I initially thought I would be choosing some prizes from Instagram and some from Ravelry. Those of you that can't use Ravelry for whatever reason, let me know. Send me your pictures. I'll stick them on the finished object thread, and we'll go from there. I'm not sure how else to do it. Yeah, a couple of other podcasters have warned me about this Instagram feature that isn't a feature. So we're gonna have to punt, I guess, and figure something else out. So let's go on and see what else I've got in here. I don't think that I have cast on anything else. This is, oh, the label just fell right off. This is some Christmas yarn that I got last year, and I'm not sure where this is made. I would say Germany, but I could, yeah, Germany, okay? It's Flaxat, and it is in the colorway 2701. I'm sure that you've seen it in some sock yarn Etsy shops, perhaps. It looked beautiful, so we'll see how this works out. This will likely be, unless I don't have a pattern in here yet, it will likely be a vanilla sock just because of the patterning. It's kind of comes out as a pattern looking thing anyway, pattern. So we'll see when I cast that on. So that's something that I haven't cast on yet. This is something that was in my Make 9 last year to make. It's got the needles in it, it's got everything in it ready to go. This is from Barrett Wool. It was a kit to make the, before I say it wrong, Andrea Mowry's, that's hard to say, Andrea Mowry's The Shift. I'm sure you all know The Shift. Let's see if I can get a picture of it. It looks like my color printer was not doing so well that day. But it's a longer cowl. I'm sure many of you know it, but that's one of the next projects I likely will put on my needles just because it's a smaller project. All right, let's pick another one. This is a kit that I got from Knit Stars, which used to be known as Loops in Tulsa, Oklahoma, when we were there. This is called the Cable Vine wrap, I suppose. And it is made with a very beautiful yarn. I don't know whether you can see the sparkle here. Probably not. Hold on, let me turn the light on and see if you can see it. got a bit of a sparkle. And it is Dan Doe Silk Plus. 76% silk. 76% silk, 24% cotton. And in one ball, there's 227 yards for 50 grams. So it's a fingering weight. And it takes two. And this was part of the Knit Stars Club that I joined when I was recovering from a hip replacement. So yeah, I'll need some bamboo needles for this, which are being used. It calls for something that I don't have at the moment, or I would have stuck them in there. US 7 knitting needles. And there is the drop stitch. So I have never done that, except by accident. So this will be interesting to see how I like this. I hear it's very pleasurable. We'll see. When you're making socks, it's less pleasurable when you drop a stitch. Just saying. All right. This is the next one that I have knit, bagged up, ready to go. This is Patagonia, Organic Merino, Juniper Farms. And I believe this is called, oh boy, I hate when they, Aquamarine. So, I have some of that balled up, ready to go. And this is what I have planned. The Sheep Camp sweater, and that is by Jennifer Berg. I picked this out when we were traveling in the West, and this will be what is white here, and then I will have this. This is also Patagonia. I made a sweater from this. That's why I changed. This is Patagonia, Organic Merino from Juniper Farms, and this is in the colorway Sand. And that's the color. I've made a Tresceo from this. It's one of my favorite sweaters. I love this wool. Do not hesitate to purchase this wool. Not this year though. Yeah, this is a great rustic, but not itchy wool at all. It's great. It's definitely, unless you're very sensitive, this is not something that I would worry about putting on your skin. It's very nice. So that's for the Sheep Camp. And we just hold those two colors together. I'm thinking that will be really a lovely sweater. That's my thought anyway. And of course, that's all in two different plastic bags. Yes, this one from Amazon and this one is a Ziploc. Classy, right? That's what we got here, class act. I hope you guys are enjoying this process and watching this as much as I'm enjoying showing it to you. It's pretty fun to show the really pretty objects that you want to make. So I'm hoping you're starting to do some of this as well to work down your stash. This is some of the cotton yarn that I found in my storage unit. It's Regia cotton. There's no color except maybe this number, which is F0083. It's likely it's about 6 years old, so I doubt that they still make this color, but it's cheery and bright and looks pretty Florida-ish. I'll be making some shorties. I have two 2 of these. I could make long socks, but likely I will make short socks and maybe have enough to make heel-toe ribbing. Holy moly. And I've had coffee this morning. Got the needles ready to roll. This will just be a vanilla shorty. I don't know if it'll be toe down, toe up, don't know yet. But that I want to make. All right, what have I got in this bag? Oh, this bag. I really want to get this one going too. This is going to be, pardon the color or lack thereof, this will be the Autumn League pullover. Those of you that have been with me a while know that I made one from Knit Picks Upcycled. Upcycled? I think. It's a recycled yarn and it's made from wool and alpaca. It was a limited edition. I don't know if you can still get it on Knit Picks. I made this out of a DK weight, and I have some sport weight up here that I'll be using at some point. But I was actually lucky enough to find the actual cotton jeans in a dark blue off the Lion Brand website last year. It's always sold out. I really wanted the gray, but you know, you make do. But this is probably one of the next cast-ons I'll do after I finish a few whips. So that's, I'm being, you know, in the largest, one of the largest bags I have. Yeah, that's stored in that one. You having fun? I am. This is something that I wanted to do last year. It did not get done for a variety of reasons, mostly because new and shiny comes along and there you go. These are the Point Edward mitts. Yep. And I have some yarn picked out. That is Malabriga Rios. And this is in the Pulsion colorway. A little green, a little gray, a little red, a little blue, a little gold maybe in there, here and there, little pops. So that the recipient will probably be one of my daughters. And, you know, it'll go with any coat or, you know, fleece or whatever they, you know, choose to wear it with. So yes. This was supposed to be done last year. Yeah, was not done. My needles are ready to go. Here's some bamboo needles. Yeah. So, there's another one. All right, this next one will count as many, 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 many. I think I'm the only one that has not made a Musselburgh yet. Here we go, Musselburgh. I've been wanting to do it. I just have not felt the need to do it. But this will be for my son-in-law to match his sweater that I've paused on, not sweater, scarf. And this will be a hat for him, Musselburgh. I'm going to make one out of a Noro. And I'm making this out of, this is wool and silk, and it is Henry's Attic. Wool and silk, and it's kind of a marled, and I'll probably find some other green yarn to pair with it. But this is something that I want to go from my stash. I don't know why I bought it. I didn't have a reason or rhyme. It's nice, but I don't know, you know. So I'll probably pair this with something in my green, and we'll go from there. Get rid of some yarn, folks. So there's 3 Musselburghs, and if I really like it, like everybody says I will, there may be more of those in my future. This is a Opal wool Admiral X Pro, and it is 100 grams. It is 75.25. Yes, this is new wool made without superwash treatment. So that'll be nice and warm as a hat. If I don't like the fact that it is only, you know, it's thin, I might find something purplish up in that to go with it to hold double. But that's the initial intent. Here's some Lorna laces that will be made into some kind of, probably a vanilla sock, but it might be a sock that is like the Twizzler sock, something like that, that might just be a texture. I'm not a real big fan of textured socks. It's probably a sensory thing. I don't like it on my feet, especially, but I just don't care for it. So that's why I go for a lot of vanilla socks. And I have 2 50-gram, is this 50 gram? Yeah, 50 gram. And this is in Pond Blue. Obviously, I've already rolled one up. I think this will probably be a long pair of socks, just because I don't want them, I don't want any of the yarn left. And this might be a Christmas gift for one of my children. Who knows? All right. This is some Noro. Single ply. Not the best for making sweaters with, but I'm going to make a ranunculus for myself with this. I just want a plain ranunculus. And as my friend Valerie has done, I may not put lace in it. That was the part that kind of drove me over the edge with my first ranunculus, and really didn't enjoy it. So I'm going to try it without the lace. And there's the pattern of the crazy. Why they don't change that picture on Ravelry is beyond me. But here's my pattern ready to go. No needles yet, but I will find them. They're like, what, size 10? And I think I did my last ranunculus on 9.5. So I don't enjoy working with large needles. That's just me. So this will get cast on probably late spring. I have 3 more bags in here. These are some sock yarn. And I do have the tag. Hello, Chula. My other dog just came in. She may need to go out. This is a Knit Pick Stroll. And it's cartoons, hand painted. And these will be cast on in June for Pride Month. And I'll likely make shorties from them. Shorties that show. Or as Karen from the Karen Knits podcast says, sort of shorties. So I also have a pattern in here that's called Brainless, because that's how I felt the day that I wound that sock yarn up. That probably is not going to be what the pattern is, but I'll leave it in there nonetheless. Yay! Rainbow. And those look like they will be micro stripes. Not sure. All right, I have 3 more bags. And this is going to be a shawl. And I have not gone through all of my shawl patterns. I have so many in my library. This is an earth yarn, which is made in Turkey. Anyway, maybe you can see the color. It's pretty monochrome, and that's what they call it, monochrome. I'm sure it's with a different accent, but yeah, just something light and simple that will go with a lot of different things that I own. So I have 3 balls of this, and so my options are not limited to anything at this point. But this coming week, I want to sit down and really go through some of my shawl patterns and see what I've got, and yeah, and see what will be cast on from that. All right, let me start to put some of these back in here because it kind of gets a little crazy. Stay up there, box. I'm hoping that some of you are finding some success going through your stash, finding some things that you didn't know were in there. And that, woohoo, you've got enough to make a sweater or whatever it is you want to make. All right, this is a bag of Valley Yarns Huntington in the Bluestone, and it's from Webb's. I got this in a thrift store last year after we moved to this part of Florida. It's all balled up, like she tried to do something. Oh, here are the ball bands, and she kept them in there. And 218 yards in each 50-gram ball. Now, I don't know, I've weighed this, and what I got was, it was 2,180. So I have enough for a sweater's quantity. This will be one of the last things that I think about in 2024, but I thought, I got this for $3, guys. So, yeah, I'll probably make a raglan sweater. Not sure yet. I'm just not sure yet. But for $3, I had to pick it up. All right, and the last one, I'm going to need your help, because I've looked and I don't know what to do with this, but I want to make a summer-ish top for this. This is Noro in Enka, E-N-K-A. The stats are, it's 50% cotton, 20% silk, 15% wool, and 15% polyamide. Okay? And I have 2 here, which gives me, I had it written down somewhere, 1,092 yards. So it's enough to make a tee for summer. I just don't know what the pattern's going to be. If you have any suggestions, obviously it just needs to be something very simple so it will display the yarn. Miss, you may not get into my coffee. Yeah, we have a coffee thief of a dog. She's almost 18 years old and will sneak around to get coffee. She's already been into my husband's this morning, and she's trying to get into mine. So, yeah. So, that's where we're at with my box of stash be gone, cast on whips to-do list. I hope you have enjoyed this podcast. And if you have, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment what you think this should be. And if you have any really good raglan patterns that would be good for this, and 25% nylon. I was wrong. I thought it was 50-50. But even so, it's sock yarn and it will make a nice fingering weight raglan. And I think that's what I want to do. But I think maybe, you know, something with a little lace. I don't know. Suggestions for these two are very welcome. I want to see them in my closet. I want to tell everybody about my $3 sweater. And I want Noro to be shown off in its glory. So, if you've got any ideas, leave them below. And what your favorite project will probably be. I have a lot of knitting to do. And then there's all this. Oh, and of course, I'm still working on this somewhat monogamously, other than the few cast-ons that you see. I did not do a day of knitting. We've had painter tile problems, and so this got a little neglected for a day. But hopefully we're back on board and everything will be fine by this time next week. So anyway, this is a Tresceo for those of you that are new. And I'm getting close to the end, which will be reverse stockinette. And then we do some sleeves. I've tried to go monogamous. Not sure how successful it will be. It's getting all... The trouble with being monogamous knitter is that it gets a little boring with certain yarns. This is a lovely yarn to work with, except when it gets warm, that alpaca starts to stick and doesn't make me happy. But anyway, as I was saying, thanks for spending some of your day with me. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all of you that have been with me and all of you that have tuned in the past couple of weeks. I've gotten several subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. I do appreciate it. And any of you that helped me financially through Ko-Fi, I love you. Thank you so much. It's really appreciated. I'm hoping that next year I'll be able to get to Rhinebeck. Given my health, we'll see. Yeah, they need to do a virtual Rhinebeck for those of us that might not be able to do it. What do you think? Anybody out there? What do you think? So if you've enjoyed any of this content, please think about subscribing. It's all free. I do appreciate it. And go back and check out some of my later videos, particularly the ones about Stash Down and Whip Be Gone. I got a lot of knitting to do. And with that, knit in peace.